Good morning, lifestyle is healthers and YouTubers. Yes, it is that time again. It is Coffee Time Live, Friday, 11 o'clock. And today I have got the amazing Kim Rahir with me. I am so excited about chatting with Kim because we have so much in common with each other in terms of how we feel about the importance of exercise, especially when you're over a certain age. So, Kim, would you like to share with our listeners just what you do, how we met, and a little bit about how you got into doing what you do?
Yes, I have to. Hello, everybody. I call myself an online health coach. That is pretty vague, but I work with ladies over 40 who come to me to lose weight mostly and help them achieve that. But we always take the road of strength training because I think that is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself when you're over 40. And there's so many images attached to this. We will get into this later that have really nothing to do with reality. And most of my clients are really really they love when they become strong and they realize that the way you feel about your body has nothing to do with what it looks like. And this is what I love doing. And
Brilliant.
Vicky and I met in an online networking meeting, and it was so amazing because everything that we exchanged, it just went click, click, click. Yes, that's what I do. Yes, that's what I think. Yes, that's what I love. So it was really like right away we had a connection, and it's really lovely
Absolutely.
to be here today.
Brilliant. And so what you said is actually so important. So for the ladies who were in my Pilates class, so for those of you who don't know, I do a Pilates class just before I do this. So we finish at 10:30. And the conversation with the ladies today was about how important it is when you're over a certain age to not shy away from lifting weights and focusing on strength. And it's so key, isn't it? Because as you said really clearly there, it's about how you feel, and there's nothing more empowering about feeling strong in your body and knowing that if you want to pick something up and move it, you're probably going to be able to do it. So tell us, how did you get into, have you always been into fitness and lifting weights and stuff, or is it something that you got into as you were a bit older? Tell us about how you got into that.
Well, I started sports at the age of 3 because my mom took me to a kids' gym class, something, and I did gymnastics for quite a while until I was 14. I think I was really passionate about it. I was never very good, but I loved it, and I trained a lot. So working out, training, going to the gym has been second nature for me for a long time. In my professional life, I became a journalist, and I worked as a journalist for 20 years, always training. At some point, I think maybe it was in my 30s that I started lifting weights. I worked the machines in the gyms, the stuff that you start out with. And I had always this urge that I wanted to share this passion with people. But of course, we have an established job, you have an income, it's very difficult to take the plunge. And 7 years ago, my husband and I and our 3 kids moved to Madrid. It was like our last move. We'd been moving around the world all the time.
Wow.
And I myself, I wanted to make this last expatriation like a real success. And I didn't want to stress myself with looking for work as a journalist. I just wanted to let things happen.
Nice.
And I somehow got really unmotivated and sick of tired of writing stories that nobody would read, or like always saying the same things. It felt so like I had no impact at all, whether I was writing a story or not, it didn't matter. And the value of information has gone down because everybody's sharing anything these days.
Absolutely.
So I took the decision and I took the plunge and said, I'm going to do this now. And I recertified as a personal trainer. I took I went to the Online Trainer Academy to learn how to deliver this service online. And I started working with clients, and I am loving it. I have not looked back one second.
Fantastic. So we obviously have so much in common in terms of doing the online training, and it makes it just so much more accessible to people. But I loved what you said a little bit earlier about the fact that you just did not want the stress of making this move, the last one, and just not having that stress of trying to find a job, doing something that by that point you'd realize just wasn't what you wanted to do anymore. And I'm sure people listening can absolutely relate about the fear of taking the plunge and allowing whatever. to come in and just and lead you. So once you decided that you were going to do it, were at any time did you kind of start thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing? Or did you feel that once you started doing the training and the learning that this was actually definitely the right thing for you?
Well, it's actually quite ambiguous, because for the actual activity of helping people, of getting ladies to become strong and awesome and confident, there's no doubt about this. But it means running a business.
Yeah.
And that is scary, to say the least. It is.
Yeah.
And even today, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I think, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is so much. I don't know. Is anybody listening to me? And I need to get clients. I understand now, after a few years, that it's just normal. It's your mind will always play games with you. Our mind is the same, actually, for a business and for getting in shape, because
Yes.
our mind likes comfort and safety. We don't want to go out there and lift those weights or talk to people to ask them if they want to become a client. It's all the same. We want to be safe and secure and not put ourselves out there. But once you get systems and structures, and that's, again, it's the same for your business and for your body. You get systems and a strategy, and you know every single day what you're going to do, then it becomes so much easier. It will never go away. You know, this mind, this voice at the back of your head that said, oh, can you do this? I'm not sure you can do this, but you will learn to live with it and, do what you need to do anyway.
Yes, and that's such an important thing to bring up again for people, because something that I talk about so much is that we need to have a plan, and we need to have a vow, if you like, or a decision that we are going to stay consistent no matter what this says to us, because this can seem very powerful, can't it, and very overwhelming. And as you said very clearly there, the brain loves to stay with the familiar, with the safe, with the comfortable, and it doesn't really want you to get stressed ultimately, because it sees stress as being a threat to life. And of course we know it's not, but our primitive brain thinks that. So when we're telling ourselves that we need to lift weights and stuff, there's always going to be that, will it wait? Yeah, can I put it off? But we also know, don't we, and this is what you and I were talking about a lot, and as we mentioned right at the start, that feeling that you get when you push yourself to do it, and just because it's always that first thought, once you start, you're fine. Once you start to pick up the weights and you start to do what you're doing, that feeling afterwards, and even while you're doing it, for me as well, is just, I can't put words on it, because you can just lose yourself, can't you, in just the joy of being able to move and lift and feel at one with your body. And this is something that you we talked about this separately in different things that you've been writing about, that I've been writing about, but also when we had a conversation, that when we get to a certain age, we do start to look at ourselves differently, don't we? And you specifically have said that you work with women over 40. So help people to sort of explain, if you will, why that sort of age was the age that you want to focus on.
It's something that I can relate to, because I'm actually 57 right now. So,
Wow.
And when I was in my mid-40s, I had a very threatening illness. Nothing dramatic. It's a syndrome that comes and goes. But I was actually in a wheelchair for 6 months because I had it's called a Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's just your own body attacking itself, and I couldn't walk. And my habit of exercising and getting right back into it, as soon as I could walk again, I would go walking every day. I would start training as soon as I could. And I'm convinced that this is what helped me bounce back, because I got my body back into what I wanted it to do. I was not intimidated, because I knew that training was the right thing to do. And it gave me so much confidence and optimism that I felt that I could come back from there. Wow. And this is what I want to share with as many ladies as possible, because many of us, and I hear that from my clients all the time, you're over 40, you have looked after everybody and everything for decades except yourself. And you stand up, you wake up one day, you look in the mirror and you say, who's that person? This is not me. How do I look? What am I doing here? How did I get here? And this is why I concentrate on ladies of that age, because I know exactly how that feels when you all of a sudden you don't recognize yourself anymore. And I know that when you just start doing things for your body, and you have to start small. This is also my specialty, to have people really start small. Sometimes they say, what? This is all I have to do?
Yeah.
Yes, nothing more. And you start from there, it snowballs. And of course, because ladies of that age, we have not been raised with physical strength as a value in our catalog. We are always told to be like tiny and small and elegant, and don't
Yeah.
take up any space.
Yeah.
So it's also a generational thing, where I just want to encourage these ladies to take up their space, and to be strong, and to feel confident. And it's not only, like you said, when you're training and you're in the flow, you're in this bubble, and you're just feeling so one with your body. I get messages from my clients all the time saying, oh, I went to the garden center and I bought 20 kilos of earth, and I just could carry it. Or last week, a lady told me, oh, I had to carry my bicycle up the stairs to change trains, and I could do it. And
Yeah.
this is so much more joyful and empowering than seeing a number on the scale. And this is really what I get up in the morning to do, and to help ladies do.
Absolutely. And those are some wonderful examples that people can really relate to, especially at the moment where gardening is definitely a thing. And if you're, picking up the bags of peat or whatever, the soil that you need, you kind of think, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can lift it, or you have to ask for somebody's help. And it's just reminded me, actually. So I live on a cul-de-sac, and so we have cars parked on either side of the road. So it's basically one way. If somebody's coming up, somebody has to give. So there was a lady parked near to the top who was trying to offload. She'd been to the garden centre, and she'd got bags of peat and topsoil and what have you. And she sort of said, I'm going to be here a while because I need to offload this. And she said, oh, these ones are heavy. You get one end, I'll get the other. And I went, no, you're all right. And I just picked it up. She just went, I can't believe I've just watched you do that. But this is the thing. And she was wanting to struggle with it. I know it's just, this is where you sort of realize that everyday things like moving furniture, if you want to change your room around and have a different look, you don't need to ask for somebody to help you to pick things up and move them. And that in itself just helps you to feel just really good. And that's what it's about, isn't it? And what I wanted to pick up on what you said as well, when we get to sort of 40s, we can kind of look back, and for some ladies it's closer to 50s these days, depending on if we've left children that little bit later and if we focused on careers and stuff, that you can suddenly stop and go, who actually am I? And what do I do for me? And I know this is what I do with my disordered eating clients, is that they are always, not just number 5 or 6 on the list, they're last on the list. And suddenly we kind of say, hang on a minute, there's got to be more to life than this. So what you spoke about there was really good, and I want to touch on that, is that you start with very small steps. And I love the fact that you said, people say, well, is that it? That's all I have to do? Because don't you find that this is one of the things that we need to overcome, is this idea that we have to do everything all at once and do it really, really quickly. So
Yes, I think
tell people about what they an example of the little things that they can start with, that you encourage them to start with on your programs.
Well, for example, in my nutrition coaching, it can start with taking a 5-minute action every day, and that's it.
Right.
Just 5 minutes. And you can use these 5 minutes for whatever you want to do, maybe write your grocery list, or just sit down and breathe, whatever, but get into the habit of doing something for yourself. And if I said, I want you to do something for 30 minutes every day, then it will, fall off the wagon right away, because that's a big chunk of time out of your day. But 5 minutes is encouraging enough and seems easy enough for everybody to do it. And I think it's really, we underestimate the power of habits. Once you have this habit of doing something just for you, and be it only 5 minutes, you can really build from there. And it is the same for training. You can start with very small, gentle movements, but you just get into the habit of doing something.
Yeah, and that's how everybody needs to start, isn't it? And I think that's where people have still got this idea that transformation and getting stronger has to be hard. And I think you and I are on the same page on this. It's as hard as you decide to make it, isn't it, really? And it doesn't have to be. But the best way that people can get an idea of just how good they can feel is to work with somebody who can guide them through the steps that will help them as an individual at the right time. And you're going to be offering a new program starting really, really soon. Would you like to tell us about what that is and what people can do to get in touch with you to find out more about it?
Yes, I'd love to. I'm actually starting a course called Get Strong at Home on Monday. And it's something, it lasts 3 months, and you start with 10 minutes a day. That's it. 10 minutes a day, and 10 minutes where you don't even have to change into exercise clothes. The idea being make the threshold as low as possible.
Yeah.
You're busy, you have a lot of things to do, you're stressed out. There's always a lot going on, but you can do 10 minutes. So we start on Monday, and even if you're an experienced exerciser, this is my specialty. I can get you to work and become really strong, even if you do 10 minutes every day, forever. You don't have to do more. If you know how to scale exercises, how to progress them, you can actually get really, really good in 10 minutes. I'm starting that on Monday. And I love to help ladies, because many have this fear of going to a gym, or they think of pumping iron, having to do really hard stuff, when it's really so much easier. And I love to share that. So we're starting on Monday, and you can find that maybe on my Facebook profile. There's quite a few posts of it. You contact me, just shoot me a message, and I'll let you in.
I'm really excited about this, and I hope some of you who are listening and watching do go and check it out, and actually do join, because it's one of the best things. And what a brilliant time of year to start doing it, through the summer, where it's still quite nice and light, and getting in those 10 minutes, as you say, if you just create that habit and start to understand how your body works, how things feel, how you can progress within that short time frame. And I'm a great advocate for short workouts done consistently over and above great big long sessions, and absolutely that whole gym thing for women. I think it's better than it was, but there is still this idea that, it's a bit of a man's domain, especially when you go into the weights area and the free weights. You kind of do feel like the odd one out when you're the woman there amongst a load of guys. And some of us aren't intimidated by that, but some absolutely are. And doing it in your own home without even have to get changed if you don't want to, what could be better? So we'll put those links in above this video, folks, so you can go and find out a little bit more about that and hopefully sign up. So Kim, let's just finish on, what do you do for yourself every day to help you feel good, and to just light up your day that little bit more?
I actually do meditation every day. And it could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. I have this brilliant app that I use called Headspace, so you can really choose your length. You can even do 3 minutes if you want to. Sometimes it's just a 1-minute breathing exercise, but it's something I really do every day, because it grounds me. It gives me access to this place, what we call the place of quiet confidence that we all have in us, and you just have to access it. And the more often you do this, the better you will feel about everything that life throws at you all the time. So that's my daily routine, and it doesn't take long either. If I have the time, I do 20 minutes and I love it, but sometimes 3 minutes will do. But it's just what I mentioned before, just the habit, the gesture of doing this one thing for your well-being every day, and it works like a charm.
Fantastic. What a brilliant top tip there from Kim. So have you got anything lined up for the weekend? Are you going to be busy finishing the course off, ready to roll it out? What you're up to the weekend?
Yes, I'm setting up everything for the course, and getting ladies inside and explaining them how the coaching app works and everything. But I'll definitely be out walking very early in the morning, before it's too hot. I do that every weekend, and I will probably watch some football.
Yeah, excellent. So dare we ask, who are you supporting, Kim?
I'm sorry?
Who are you supporting?
Well, I'm German, so I did support the Germans, but I love the English team. I love the English players. So I'm going to be rooting for them very, very intensely.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for spending time with us this morning on Coffee Time Live. And as I say, we will be putting the links above this video, folks. So if you want to find out more about Kim's program, please do check that out. Kim, it's been a joy. Thank you. Anything else that you want to say just to wind things up?
I just want to thank you for having me here. It was really lovely. And I think it's really important that we keep connecting among what I call kin spirits and spread the message, because so many people out there just need maybe just a little nudge or encouragement. And I love doing this. And thank you for allowing me to do this here with you.
Thank you so much for being here, Kim, and I'm sure that we will be having you back again when you've got your course up and running and you can tell us how people are doing. Guys, thank you for watching. If you are watching on replay, I would love you to put #replay. If you have got any questions that you want to ask either myself or Kim about lifting weights, about being over a certain age and confidence and all that good stuff, or even about nutrition, please do pop them in the comments box, because we will check and we will answer them over the weekend. And on that note, have a great weekend. If you are watching the football, we're rooting for whatever team you're watching. Have a great one, and thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.